Still in my starting phases. It doesn't feel like that sometimes, but then when I hear about people who've been doing it 7, 8 Tony years, it's like, I'm at the starting gate. So any help that I could get for a little longevity and a little bit of support, I could really appreciate it. Tonight, on this episode of the conversation, I got my buddy. I can't even do a proper introduction. I'll just let Monkey do the introduction. What to say about Fish? On more roundtables and live streams than I can list. One who's nice as can be, very true. And it's only fitting now to have the conversation with me, KB. So, coming to the conversation, we have Fish. How's it going, sir?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Um, this is another one of those long time comings.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very flattering considering, all the people that we communicate with and we know in this
Hmm.
community. So I'm very honored to be part of this group that you've got going and continuing to grow.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny you mentioned community, and we're talking about the film collecting community and the film loving community. I was doing a project the other day, and the person I was doing it for, it was another film lover, and they're on TikTok. And I would say minus one person with all the different participation videos and things that I was doing, I only knew one person out of, I don't know, almost 50. So you have to imagine, if you're not in that TikTok world, there's a whole another community of collectors and film lovers out there
oh,
that we
absolutely.
don't know.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah.
might stay over there, we're staying over here. Some of
Yeah.
us cross over, but
That's crazy, little untapped resources like that,
hmm,
because, and I know a lot of us are getting into that a little bit more. I don't know. When Snapchat and TikTok and things like that first started coming out, I don't know.
yeah,
And even Instagram, because I started one and then cut it off because I really wasn't taking photos or doing any of that
yeah.
stuff. I mean, I was living life and I don't know. Yeah,
So many
but
apps
so
though, man.
so
There's so
right
many.
now, with it growing and blowing up and being the platforms that they are, more like networking, social,
Hmm.
uh,
But
yeah,
I
it's
I want to meet more fans,
yeah,
I think we all share that thing that we love this community because in our day-to-day lives, we have friends and family that, will quickly check out if we start to talk about the movies we love or, what's coming out in April that we're really excited for. They're like, why? That movie's so old. Why are you excited for it? Oh, let me tell you. And Superman is sold out on Amazon. People don't get that excitement the way we do. So,
yeah, I mean, it's crazy, and I'm glad that I've actually found this because this is,
hmm,
something that I'm like, hey, I can talk to people about, this passion that I've had forever,
yeah,
forever. I've loved movies my whole life,
yeah.
um, but collecting as well. I've been VHS days. I'm a kid. I'm an older soul. An older body too, but but
I hear you.
but I've been collecting VHSs, still collecting DVDs. So
Mhm.
I just love movies in general, and
That's
to
awesome.
be able to share that passion, that love with others. It's
Mhm.
something that I've always wanted to. I have friends, they enjoy movies, but they are not
Yeah,
like some of us are.
yeah, true.
So, but
Talking about others, we are not alone. We have a lot of people join us in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're probably going to try to go right up until a few minutes before the top of the next hour. We encourage you, if you got some time and you're just hanging out for the evening, after you leave us, go and join Movies and Sue. She's starting her weekly Q&A at the top of the hour. And then after that, about an hour and 15 minutes after we end, we have our our mutual friend, Bob's Blu-rays, and he's having a great conversation talking about collecting. But, there's some of us who are completists. There's some of us that collect certain ways. Maybe people just collect boutiques, people who just hunt, people who are first day people. So it's going to be a really interesting conversation. I got
Yeah,
my popcorn. I'm ready for the evening.
exactly. Me too. I'm ready. I mean, this night is loaded. Yeah.
For
So
real.
we got a full evening of goodies ahead of us. So I'm
Yeah,
excited. So yeah, especially Sue and Bob. I really enjoyed the two of them.
me
So
too.
they're really
Good
really great.
people.
Yes.
Let's see who's joining us in the chat. Uh, we got Adrian James as always, saying I'm going fishing today. Yes, sir. We got my buddy Nick, movie AV Impulse. Unfortunately, can't watch live. Got to head to bed. That's that truck alive. Yep, yep. Much love to you, man. He'll be watching in the morning. Says enjoy yourself. Hope you
Awesome.
do.
Thank you, Nick, very much. Yeah, he was supporting us. Threw out a little shout out and a little.
He's a good guy. Also giving us some support and
Oh
love.
yes,
We got
absolutely.
Caprice joining us
Caprice.
tonight.
Hello.
Hello. Uh, we got 3T joining us. Tim Talks Talkies. Way
Hello,
to kick off
Tim.
a great night of streams. Thank you, sir.
Oh
Really
yeah.
appreciate it. We saw in the intro, we have the monkey with us. Congrats on reaching 480. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
I'm really trying to get to 1,000. I know it's not going to happen overnight. It's about the journey, not about the number. So I'm just trying to get
absolutely.
there. Just because I have milestones in my head and then things I want to do from there.
Yeah.
Holland,
Okay.
Holland Oaks.
Almond.
You're
Oh,
another one. If you have an IG, please hit me up there. I have an idea I want to see if I can pull off. So if you have IG, hit me up. Right, right there, right there. Benicio, what's up, my man?
Benicio.
They had a good episode of Vin versus Vin the other night, talking Tom Hanks movies. I thought it went too short. I could have listened to them
Oh
talk
yeah.
more and more
Well,
about it.
like they said at the top of it, he was like, I could have made this a top 10 stream, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Definitely,
We could have just talked
especially with
about all of
Tom
them.
Hanks. Yeah,
As far as I'm
six.
concerned, we could have just went, yeah, all
He's
61. Yeah.
Yeah, 61 features. Come on. We got the Huckster in the house.
Ah, Huck.
This is a good time. We're having fun tonight. We got Sean joining us saying
Hello,
hey to you.
Sean. He's new.
Oh,
He
yeah?
popped into somebody's live stream the other night, and I said, "Hey," and so he's been joining a lot. So, hello, Sean. Thanks for
Yeah,
coming in.
welcome. We got our sis Mika
Oh, Mika.
saying yay.
It's Mika.
And we got Brother Dell. What's up?
Oh, what's up, Dill?
Also had a good stream with Bob
Yes.
talking about the movie swaps. I came in late. The lady wanted to watch Scream 5 in preparation for this weekend. I'm like, oh, it's only six something, so we could get this over in time. No.
Yeah, I showed I had a family obligation yesterday, so I ran in and I turned them on right before the Ken's roundtable, and I watched them for a little bit, and then I had to bounce out. But yeah, I really need to go back and check that replay.
Can you hear me? You there?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Tim says he's been dabbling in the TikTok, but overall definitely prefer IG and YouTube more. Yeah, it's a move. It's something to get to eventually for me. What is your thoughts and what do you like about the Rocky movies? That is a popular question right now with the
um,
knockout collection
right,
out
and then the
and
steel books and stuff that come out.
hmm
Um, it's crazy because growing up, I I had watched only Rocky Four, so that was the only one that I watched. I don't just being that age when that movie came out, it was really
hmm
like, ah, wow,
everything.
Russia, USA, James Brown, Apollo Creed, just the spectacle of all that and everything.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That I never went back to watch the original or the second or the third
Uh,
until I became an adult, and it was just within the past few years that I
yeah,
watched the three prior to the one that I love so much, and I really
yeah.
enjoyed them. I really do. Especially the first one. The first one, to me, was more of a love story. I enjoyed the
Hmm.
boxing aspect and the background of it, but Adrian and Rocky, that's their story, and it kicks off the whole series. That
Definitely.
love. So I
Definitely.
really enjoyed that one. Talia Shire in that the way she
Hmm.
starts and very soft spoken and very wallflower and very yeah. So and then to
Yeah.
see her what she became into in Rocky Four, the Adrian
She
that
blew
I
like a
loved,
flower.
so yeah, it was crazy. It was cool to see her, transition and become the woman that she, to stand by him and be as strong
Yeah.
as he is,
That must
really
have been
enjoyed him.
weird though, going back because you see her in four and how she is, and now
Yeah,
to go back to one and see her like, you know,
yeah.
kind of like all mousy and whatnot.
Yes,
That must
very
have been
much so.
interesting.
Yeah. The
Did you,
glasses and the little bob hairdo and yeah.
yeah,
So
did you pick up the knockout collection or?
I did not grab the whole collection because I'm going
Hmm.
steelbook route because I really did.
Okay.
I like the look of those, just the black and white
Right.
with the red accent.
I just wish they were cheaper. I think, $30 a pop is a little too rich.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm sure they're going to talk about it later on Bob's stream, but the FOMO got me,
Oh yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
The
and it's
FOMO got me today and I just ordered the four set.
so yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't like it to grab hold of me, but you can't help
Hmm.
it sometimes because you never know,
Yeah.
um, especially around here. My stores may only get like a copy or two,
Hmm.
so my Best Buys. So I'm, if I see few in stock, I'm like, let me go ahead and
Gotta
order
get
it
it.
right now because that's maybe one or two. If it says it's in stock, it's maybe four or five. And then
Yeah.
I go in and there's like 20 of them all
You're
stacked up, and
like,
I'm like, oh, what was I
lie to
freaking
me.
out about? I was freaking out. So
Let's see who else is here. What's talking about Vin versus Vin? Where's
the
the other
other half of
Vin?
Vin
What's
squared.
up? Scrolling down. There is the man. Fish, fish,
Ah,
fish. What's up,
Bob.
big fish in a little pond? You know what? I think, and I apologize, how we normally do this. I start up with a non-movie question. We get into the movie stuff. We end with the five takes. But yeah, we're too familiar already. So it's like we just got to break, context tonight and just do it freestyle the way we're doing it because I was thinking back and I have to give Bob some credit because there's a lot of people that I love to follow now, self included,
Thank you.
um, that started off with seeing him the first time on his channel. You, Terrell, a couple other people, and it's like he's good with being a connector and not just bringing in the people who are like popular or whatever, but bringing in other people like personal friends and giving them an opportunity to be on like live streams and everything. So, being that we were having this tonight, I was like, we got to make Bob a part of it.
Oh,
So,
definitely,
What's
absolutely.
up, everyone? Bob's Blu-rays here. Big Fish in a Little Pond. KB, I hope y'all are having a great stream. Fish, your hair looks amazing, man. I know you got your hair did for this stream. It looks great. Maybe not quite as good as mine, but that's okay. I wanted to say a couple quick things for you, though, man. The reason I call you Big Fish in a Little Pond, it's because you stand out among everybody else. I appreciate the hell out of you, man. You're a great dude. You're always willing to help people, always sharing streams. You're always in the chat supporting. So I appreciate that from you. You're always willing to help. You've been there for me like a brother. You've always acted like one. I appreciate that from you, man. But I got two quick questions for you, okay? The first one's going to be, why did you hate Black Panther Wakanda Forever? You need to set the record straight and everybody needs to know. The second thing is going to be, why are you called Fish, okay? I know, but other people don't know. So set the record straight on why you're called Fish and what your real name is. Have a great stream, and I appreciate you letting me make this video.
and that was going to be
Uh,
my initial question.
oh my gosh, Bob. Oh man, that's my guy right there. Oh man,
That
he's such
was
a
going to
good
be my
friend.
initial question about the name. So give the
Oh,
name and then you can go back to Black Panther.
oh man. Okay, this is it's so easy. It's so simple. It's nothing crazy. It's my last name. you know, I'm native. So my last name is Fish. Yeah. The first name is Andy. So Andy Fish. No middle name. So just short and sweet. 8 letters. That's me. So
There you
yeah,
go.
that's the Fish. So and I've gotten some nicknames throughout the years. Fish sticks, fish biscuit, guppy. Um, so yeah.
I
So
like
that's
that.
it.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Nothing crazy. Nothing fancy. Just yeah. This is just my name.
but not everyone knew that. Everybody has nicknames and
Yeah,
whatnot.
absolutely.
So
Yeah. And I get that all
now
the
we know.
time. The reason I use Fish, I even go by it in my everyday life. I'm a server and
Hmm.
a bartender. And when I started bartending, it was a little more memorable, a conversation starter, they're like, people are like, why do they call you Fish? And then that gets going,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it breaks the ice a little bit because they take back, like a little taken aback whenever I say,
Hmm.
my name's Fish, I'll be taking care of you. They're like, Fish? Really? I mean, is that short for something? I'm like, no. And then we start talking and
Are you
just
trying to
gelling.
push the salmon?
Yes, yes. But yeah,
Oh,
so I always found it a little more memorable, a little conversation starter. And now I've been waiting tables for 20 years and it's crazy. And I've worked at a few different restaurants and bars throughout that time. And it's like you'll run into somebody randomly somewhere and they're like, oh, Fish, blah, blah. And they're like, oh, I know Fish. And yeah, so it's weird. It's crazy. It's, yeah.
yeah.
I would go to I would go to this one bar after work, and I felt like Norm when I walked in there because right when I walked through the doors, everybody turned around. Fish, yeah. So
That's cool. That's
yeah.
cool. So I have to say, despite Bob being your boy and all that, and it was where I first saw you, it was Amazing Anna, Mega Mike the Movie Man's wife, that recommended you for the conversation. I mean, it was going to happen, but
Oh well.
it was Amazing Anna that recommended you.
Oh well. Thank you, Anna. Amazing Anna. She's wonderful. She's so sweet. Mike's wife.
Yeah,
She's great. Yeah. I've
yeah.
done live stream with her as well. Yes. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me feel good. That's.
Let's see what else they're saying back in the chat. Haven't taken the TikTok plunge yet. My dancing skills aren't. I ain't dancing on no camera.
It's dancing or singing. You got to do one or the other. And I mean,
Nah,
I did choir in school, but I'm not I don't know. I'm no
nope.
Whitney Houston.
I'm not even doing the moves and the waist up like them kids. Geriatric Geek joining us. Hello again. Good to
Hello,
see
hello,
you. Adam Khan A, what's up?
hello, Adam.
Monkey has 2 questions for you. What did you think of the Joe Pesci film Gone Fishing? And what horror film still scares you to this day? That's a good one.
Okay,
Have,
Gone Fishing. I've not actually seen Gone Fishing with Danny Glover and Joe Pesci. I know of it, but yeah, I haven't actually watched it. So I
ah,
actually can't speak on it,
there you
unfortunately.
go.
But a horror film that still scares me. I don't know. I don't see growing up when I did and watching horror. Um, as young as I did, I watched Nightmare on Elm Street for the first time. That was my first horror movie that I remember watching, and I watched it
Nice.
at 6. So uh, ever since then, it's just been building on top of that. So not a whole lot gets to me anymore.
Hmm.
But when something makes me jump, it's awesome. I don't know. One that pops into my head for some reason that always creeps me out, and this one scene always got me was Exorcist 3. Uh,
Ah,
I,
yeah.
have you seen that one?
VHS days we're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, it's getting a 4K this year, so
Hmm. Bigger than
um,
everything.
right. Usually after I buy a DVD or a Blu-ray of it.
Yep. I I I have a running joke with movies with Ryan, and anytime he buys something, let's say on Blu-ray, I'm like, "Thank you. We're one step closer to getting it on 4K. I love you." So,
It's funny. It's like Bob had that live stream of DVDs we want to see upgraded, or any physical media we
hmm.
want to see on any kind of upgraded disc, Blu-ray or 4K. And some of them, I had ran out and bought for that stream. And then a few weeks later, a month later, 2 months later, they're starting to pop them out. I'm like, all right, here we go. You're welcome, guys. So I bought Red Eye, and I bought this, and I bought that, and yeah.
Oh, you got the red eye.
So they were like, "Oh
Oh
wow, all
man,
these old movies are they're flying off the shelves again." So let's
that's
upgrade. Let's get
cool.
some more money out of these people.
That's
But
very
yeah,
cool.
Exorcist 3. Always, I don't know. There's that one scene. It's been out for a while. If you people haven't seen it, I'm sorry. Spoilers. Cover your ears. But that nurse, when she's checking on the bedrooms, when she's checking on the patients, and she goes
Hmm.
into that room that last time, and she walks out, and then oh my
Mm.
god, that's just gave me goosebumps again. I
I
just the way it
but
popped so
you
fast.
know, it's like when you see modern, like I said, I just watched Scream 5 last night. When you see modern day jump scares, it's like to the point where everybody's like, yeah, I know they're gonna close the door and the killer's gonna be right there. To the point that it's so desensitized now that they don't do it because they expect
Right. Well,
everyone to.
Scream 5 is a perfect example of that. When they had Wes going from shower to the kitchen to the pantry to
Mm-hmm.
back to the refrigerator to and
Mm-hmm.
that music, they always draw that music up and
Yeah.
out and and then they
Nothing.
yeah. You're like, wait,
Yeah. Uh, of course, I always skip the conversation comments, so please excuse me.
oh, you're good.
Uh, Sean says, thanks, trying to be better at commenting on videos, is what he's saying here.
Okay, yeah, no, he's been great. He's actually like been watching some of my and even backlog stuff. So very much thank you,
Yeah,
Sean, for
I'm
that.
I'm one that I always try to go back to. Benicio said gone fishing is underrated. Dell is cooking spaghetti and meatballs, at least as good as Olive Garden. That's not bragging, bro.
Hey, I'm always down for some good Italian. I that's one of my
Me too,
favorites.
but not
Uh,
Olive Garden. What's up, Eddie? Haven't spoken to you in a
Eddie,
while, man. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, me too, Caprice, for sure. I
you're
want some
right.
spaghetti now.
I'm gonna have to DoorDash or something. I'm not leaving the house. I'm in for the night to watch all these live streams everybody's
That's
doing.
right. Huck also bought the Rocky Steelbook. I have to tell myself, don't do it, and he did it. Well, I have a confession to make. Like Tim, I am not the biggest fan of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I got the $10 Blu-ray last year. I
Yeah.
wanted everybody to die in that movie because I hated it so much. But I really am interested in all those special features, especially the new documentary. My friend is in it, so I ordered it.
Yeah, no, hey, you know what? But hey, I'm not gonna fault you for it. I'm not, I do stuff. I'm holding on the DVDs for special features,
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, I do that too. If
so
there's
I
a
mean,
special
like
feature that doesn't get ported to the
transferred
new,
over. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, see, there's a trivia track on Legally Blonde that's like a
Mm-hmm.
pop-up video. You remember pop-up videos on
Oh
VH1?
yeah, yeah,
So there's
yeah.
a trivia track on there that pops up like that and gives you a little trivia throughout the movie. And I hold on to my DVD for that. That
Me
didn't
too.
transfer over to the Shout Select.
Me
So
too.
yeah,
Uh, the monkey wants to know which one is your favorite Rocky film. Is it four? Since
it
that was
is
your
for
original.
still. Even though I do have an appreciation for the first three,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, that nostalgia is always four. So
Yeah.
yeah, Dolph Lundgren, Rocky,
Did you
Apollo.
see the new cut yet?
I
The
have
one that
not. I
came
have
out.
not yet.
That's part of the reason why I want to get it to see that new cut. I
Yeah,
almost rented it on Amazon Prime, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. That's money that could go towards a Blu-ray.
right. That's the three. That's $4 that could go.
Yep.
That's a
That's
down
how I
payment
think.
on that set there.
We got Cody in the house. What's up?
Cody.
He's at work, so he'll be in and out. We got some love for you. Yes,
Oh,
Fish is awesome. Great supporter. Can't wait to have you on a guest on
oh,
their new YouTube stream.
yes,
Love it.
yes,
Love
yes,
the Q&A. Great way to
yes.
get started. Love the graphics. I'm into graphics, so I loved everything that the doubles are doing. So keep doing your thing, ladies.
Oh, yes, definitely, definitely. I'm so excited. That'd be wonderful. Yay.
Yeah. And as Cody says, don't forget to roundhouse kick that like button. We appreciate it. A couple more, and then I'll get into my questions here. Um, Bob, we got love for you, man. This community shows nothing but love to all. It's true. I love that. I love that about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, get your list to
Oh
Tim
man.
Talks Talkies, top 25 favorite movies from the 90s. I got my 25. It's
Do
just a matter
you?
of ranking them.
Okay, okay, okay. See, now
I
I haven't even started because I was talking to I was talking to my hairdresser today. She was like, "What do you got
hmm
coming up?" And I was like, "Well, I'm doing a conversation tonight, and then I have to get my '90s list together." And she was like,
hmm
"Oh, '90s movies." And I just started. I
It's
was
so
like, "I know what I
hard,
kind of
bro.
want on there," and I started throwing names. And she was like, "Oh my god, I forgot about that one
It's
and that
so
one." I'm like,
hard.
"Oh my god."
Like I got my top 5 or 6, you know. You could probably just name them because they're so obvious. But then once you get past that, you're like, ooh, but this should move up, even though I gave it a lower rating. That's more of my favorite film. So it
See,
goes on and on.
when it comes to movies for me, it's I don't know. It's all about how they make me feel, obviously, but
Of course.
rewatchability, of course.
hmm
There's movies that I can just put on and just put them in there and let them go, and actually put repeat on and just watch it again and again
Yeah.
and again.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've done that with a few movies. Yeah, well,
I
yeah,
The one that's my number one right now got me through college doing that. My VHS tape, just, I had special feature on my VCR. I had the auto rewind and play button.
nice.
So it would have to get through all the warning stuff at the end of the tape. Most of the time I was probably asleep by then, but it'll rewind and get back and start playing it automatically again, which was a dope feature
Oh, that's
on a
fantastic.
VCR.
Oh man, I'm
But
jealous on that on a VHS.
but I used to watch that movie over and over, and I'll just reveal it: Silence of the Lambs,
Oh, that's such a good
nonstop,
one. Oh, such a
nonstop.
good one. I love that. Such a good one. Oh man, the two of them, the chemistry between the two of them in that movie is fantastic. I
hmm
love that.
Yeah, what a dynamic.
I've always loved that movie. I I I I like award shows as well.
hmm
I appreciate Derek over at Convicted Cinephile for having me on all those live streams about the best pictures because I love movies and I love awards. And I used to videotape. Speaking of VHSs, I used to tape the Academy Awards when they were live, and I'd rewatch them. I would
Me
rewatch
too.
them over and over, and
Me
like
too.
I don't know. I never got tired of seeing Jodie Foster or Anthony Hopkins win the Best Actor and Best Actress, and Johnson Demme,
Yeah.
and, Best Picture, and I just I never got tired of it. It was I'm a weirdo. I know.
You're not alone, my friend. You're not alone. Talking about weirdos.
Oh,
What's up, Ken? Mid-level
uh,
media himself.
uh,
Adrian wants to know your favorite kind of fish
favorite
to
kind of fish.
consume or to
I love
like.
tuna. I love tuna, seared tuna, like raw
hmm
ahi tuna. Is so good. I love sushi. So tuna and salmon are probably right up there with for me. Oh yeah.
Yep, that's right. Huck's Huck's last name is part of it is Huck, so
Yeah, yeah.
very good.
That's funny. It's because I heard him say that, and I
hmm
didn't know that. So that's
Yeah,
cool. That was
yeah.
cool little trivia to find out as well. Yeah.
Couple other people I saw in here. I saw James from 20th and 21st
Hey
saying hello to
James.
everybody. Um, Fish and KB, are you going to the theater to see Scream 6? Early review vibes are looking good for
Okay,
sure.
that's
I was
cool.
going to see it tomorrow, but then I got a double date with Ryan from the Disconnected on Saturday, so we're going to go check it out.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun when you always get a friend to go with you too, and I like
yeah, I
another
wish you
movie
lived
lover.
closer.
Yeah.
I wish you lived closer, man. But we're gonna get together and do a nice little hunt
Oh,
one
yes,
weekend.
definitely. I'm excited about that. I know we had talked about that before, so oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
ready to
we're gonna
raid
make it happen.
I'm ready to raid your stores, bud.
Come on down. All right, let me hit you with a couple of questions, and we'll get back into the chat. So, besides the obvious answer of free movies, what's the best part about working in a movie theater?
Oh, there? Okay, so there it's a little different. I'm not an usher. I don't work concession. I don't work ticket booth. I'm doing what I love and doing what I do. I'm a bartender and I'm a server at this theater. It's one of the theaters that actually has full service. And
Hmm.
what I love about it is it's upstairs and it's
Yeah.
21 and over only. I know some places have where
Ooh.
you can take the drinks in the theater with the kids and stuff. Ours is
Hmm.
21 and over only, no drinks downstairs. That's my favorite part. I don't get me wrong, I love kids. I love my nieces and nephews and my godchildren, but I don't want to deal with them while I'm at work.
Yeah.
you know. Um, but yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah, obviously the perks, but yes, half price concessions. So. But yeah, that's I enjoy working at the theater because I enjoy doing what I do. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's different people come in, the movies are always changing, so it's
Hmm.
always different conversations with different people because different people come in to see different stuff.
Yeah.
And and once again, I get to talk about movies. You know,
I think it was last week or the week before. Some theater chain uh, out west is going to start. I think after 6 p.m. You have to be 17 and older just to get the teenagers out of there.
oh wow,
Um, so it's an interesting concept. I don't know because one of the things that I would say the PG-13 rating that has been developed since, Temple of Doom and
yeah,
Gremlins and all that
right.
is to bring in that audience, that teenager tweener audience. And now if they're taking those audience members away, I don't know. It might benefit, just like a 21 and over bar space. That might benefit the theater. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know because families go to movies.
Right.
Well, I mean, okay, so it was different in the '80s. So
Hmm.
I,
Oh God, it was
you didn't have
different.
to have a parent go with you.
Right.
The very first movie I ever saw by myself in a theater was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. My grandpa dropped me off, asked the guy at the ticket booth, when does this let out? He went off and did his thing. I went inside. He came back and picked me up when it was over, and that's how the '80s were for me. Every movie that I went and saw, with the exception of a couple
Yeah.
that he went with me to, I watched them by myself. So PG-13 didn't apply to
I
me.
know.
So I it's and
I still remember
how
walking in to
strict they
see.
are getting on it. Like our theater, they will not let anybody know. Sorry, nope, nope. You're not going in to see that movie without an adult, somebody 18 or
Hmm.
older with you. So it's crazy that how times have changed.
Yeah. I mean, if the scenario that they gave is, one of your kids got a soccer game, you can't go until like the 6:30 show. It might be different if there's parental guidance, but
Right,
the same thing you're talking about, the family member dropping a kid off at the theater and them just running wild in the theater,
right.
or like the whole thing with the Minions movie that was out. I think that's what they're trying to avoid. So, um, name a movie or two in your collection that you think more collectors need to know about.
Oh wow. Um,
Because, just like we were talking before, there's a lot of stuff from our childhood that we might only have on DVD if we're lucky.
right,
Some, still on VHS because it never made it to your Blu-rays, much more your 4Ks.
right.
So
Oh man. Oh,
there's so many. Just give
there's
me
so many.
one.
There are so many. Wow. Let's see. More people need to know about. Um, okay. So I talked about this on another stream, and I'm gonna go back to it because it is one of my favorites. Running on Empty. We talked about
Mm,
this on the coming of age stream. This movie is not a lot of people know about it. It's very underrated. River Phoenix and Christine Lottie were nominated for Golden Globes for this movie. She was nominated for an Academy Award. It's got Judd Hirsch in it, and I know he's nominated this year for Best Supporting Actor, or yeah, Best Supporting Actor.
yeah.
It's got a great cast. Story about a family. The adults, the parents, were activists and protesters in the '60s and '70s during the Vietnam War, and they're wanted by the FBI, and they're on the run with their two young sons. One of them's a teenager, and he's lived this life his whole life, and he sees what life can be like a normal life can be like, and wants that so badly that he's willing to, you know, leave his parents, leave his family, to seek out and want that stability. And it's crazy. It's a great story. I just love it so much.
Yeah.
That's one that I don't hear a lot of people talk about that I love
Yeah.
so much. I love River Phoenix though. Stand by Me.
Hmm. Gilbert Grape.
Gilbert. Man, oh gosh, River Phoenix. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. You brought, as soon as you said that title, I was like, ooh, I haven't seen that since probably the DVD or VHS days.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's definitely one I want to go back to for sure.
Yeah, I've got the
For sure.
DVD. I need to upgrade. It is a Warner Archive, so it does have a Blu-ray.
Hmm. Oh,
So
good.
yeah, so I just need to
Nice.
upgrade. I need to invest. So ever since I've gotten into collecting again, I stopped for a lot of years. I got back into it like about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and then I just kind of went wild. But I still had all my DVDs that I had, so I
Hmm.
started upgrading and looking and researching. And I'm like, okay, well, what's new? What's new? And then 4Ks were the new thing, and I was like, oh well, I gotta get on this. I gotta get on that. When Blu-rays came out, I bought a PS3
Hmm.
just to get the Blu-ray player. I'm not a gamer.
No, I still rock my Blu-ray player PS3 in my bedroom. So yeah, I know
So
what you're
yeah,
talking about.
see, but I'd love that I would have the option if I did want to buy some games.
Yeah.
It was all inclusive there. But I totally bought it for the Blu-ray player, and I only bought like a couple Blu-rays, and then those were the Blu-rays that I had since 2006.
Wow.
Just till like I said, 2021.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then I started, and then it just went nuts. You see all this
Yeah.
stuff behind me, and there's another shelf over here. There's stuff all over my floor.
As
Yeah,
Susan would
yeah.
say, the sickness is real.
Yes, yes. The bug bit me. It did, and it got me good.
Hard. Hard.
It did. It took a big old chunk.
Let's get back to these comments in the chat. We got a few good ones here. Showing some love for you here. Cody says Fish was part of the first stream I was ever on. He's always been kind. That's what's up. Yeah, and like we were talking about, keeps DVDs for the same reason.
Yeah.
Talking about the lady, there's movies in Sue saying hello, loving the hair,
Thank you, Sue. Thank you.
looking
Thank you. Oh my
fab.
gosh, I
Oh,
feel so much better.
shout out to the hairdresser. I know when you get that cut and it just
Oh,
cleans up your neck. Oh,
oh yes, yes. Around my
love it.
ears. Oh,
Hmm.
oh.
I was like zero fade, zero fade.
Oh, see, I just recently started doing a one. I don't know if I'll get down to a zero, but yeah, one.
Nah,
I might.
I
Right back here, I
my
might do a
hair,
zero. Yeah.
as old as I am, my hair still grows too fast. I need that zero fade. What up, Trini?
Oh,
Culture
Culture
Trini in the
Tree.
house.
Hello, hello.
Uh, Talking about the 90s movies, so many great movies. It's hard. Doing a decade is always hard.
Nice.
Uh, Caprice said never actually sat and did a top 20. I cheated. I looked at my letterbox because I'm like, if I consider it a great from the 90s, I've probably put it on letterbox at
Watched it
least
and
two,
rated
three
it
times.
and
Hell
stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah. See,
Hell yeah.
I started a letterbox, but I haven't gotten into it. I've
It's hard
started
to stay
adding my
disciplined.
movies to it, but I haven't like
Hmm.
given stars or anything or reviewed any of them. But I've started logging them in.
Yeah.
So
One summer I had to just literally just sit on a bench and wait for people to come and interact with me. And I just opened up Letterbox and I went through and I was like, watch, 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 watch. And then when I really came across something like, oh, Godfather Part Two, 5 stars. So I didn't rate everything, but I just, at least rated the ones that I don't need to watch it again to remember how I felt about it.
right. Okay. Yeah.
Sue just finalized her top 25 90s list. Uh, ooh, she's making a video. Don't make a video, you'll spoil your top 25 for Tim's stream. Nah, he's joking. Eric, welcome. Says, I think all the Fast and Furious movies are the greatest movies ever and also just busting your bubble. Haha. Question for you from Adrian. What's the most mind-boggling movie you've ever seen? Hmm.
Mind-boggling. Um, wow. Um, One that kind of, I know a lot of people don't like it, but when I first watched it, that threw me for a loop, and I really, really enjoyed this of it is
Hmm.
Inception. Not a lot of people, I don't hear like
Mm.
great, great things about it, but I love that whole thing.
Me too.
That in your dream, and then in a dream, and a dream, and a dream. I just love,
Yeah.
it's like the little Russian dolls.
Yeah.
You keep
The
pulling it, and you
stacking
keep
dolls.
yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then the effects, that shot was Joseph Gordon-Levitt down the hallway. I just
And
love
it's
the
rotating.
rotating and it's so good.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's I enjoy that one. I hear it kind of getting a lot of hate or not a lot of love or but I really enjoyed that one. I really do.
Me too.
Maybe it's
I
I think a lot of people Nolan. They're like
Yeah, I don't
he's
have a
just
problem with him the way some people do.
yeah. Nor
Uh
do I.
my quick Inception story, I was working and it was the Tuesday when the Blu-ray was coming out and my friend's like, "Oh, you knew I picked up movies every week." He's like, "What are you picking up today?" I was like, "I don't know. That movie Inception is coming out." He's like, "Oh, so you're gonna see it again?" I was like, "Oh, no, I never seen it." He's like, "Buy it." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Buy it, and if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back." Because he was like, "It's that good. You
Wow,
gotta see it." I
wow.
never paid him because, it was that good.
Right, right.
Going back
And
to your
that cast is
bartending story.
fantastic. I love everybody in that cast. F them kids. Yes, yes.
Oh man, I'm trying to be sensitive of the time here. Let's see. Always wanted to work in the theater when I was younger. Instead, went into fast food. I think it was in October. I was having a conversation with Garrett from Born to Be Red, and it came to a realization. I've worked in a record store and I worked in a video store, so I think I'm good. It's
I've,
like
I've done both
music
of
and
those.
movies.
I've done both of those too. I started in a record store, Warehouse Music, if you remember
Mm.
those.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I started with Warehouse Music.
Oh
Wait,
wow.
no, hold on. I take that back. I started with
CD Warehouse.
Blockbuster Music when Blockbuster Music was around. Yes, I started
Mm.
with a Blockbuster, and then they got
Yeah.
bought out by Warehouse. So yes, I
Yeah.
started with a Blockbuster Music. So, and then I worked
Wow.
in a little. One of my friends had a video store, so I worked for her part time when I wasn't at the music store. So I worked double, and I loved. I love music. I love movies, and when you can
Me
talk
too.
about your passions, to people and even help them find new stuff,
Mhm.
it's great. It's great. You know what you were talking about? I'm sorry, I want to go back to that
No, no, no.
one or two that you were talking about. Besides running on empty, I don't know if you. I love World War II movies and studying and learning. I'm a history buff too. I love
Yeah.
history. I love learning about things because history repeats itself, and if we can't learn from our history, we're just failed to
Yep.
do the same things over and over again. So
Facts.
one of my favorite, oh man, it's a little known one, Shining Through. If you've never seen Shining Through, it's Melanie
Mm-mm.
Griffith and Michael Douglas and Liam Neeson.
Put it on my
Um,
list.
so it's a World War II movie. It starts out with Melanie Griffith. Let's see, she's half Jewish, half German American.
Ooh.
Um, we haven't gotten into the war yet, so she gets hired on as a secretary for Michael Douglas, and they need they need a spy to go in. And since she's half German, half Jewish, like she grew up learning German, so they send her over and get her all equipped and give her a handler and and put her to work and get her in there. And oh my gosh, it's not
That
like the
sounds intense.
greatest, but it's fun. I really enjoy it. I just love
Yeah.
spy and thriller and espionage, and World War II was prime for it. So I
Mm.
really
For
enjoyed that
sure.
one because I love all three of those actors. They're fantastic. Melanie
Yeah.
Griffith doesn't get the love that she deserves, so she's
It's
fantastic.
true. She had a great early part of her
Oh
career, and
yeah,
then what happens if you take a break or do the comeback, it's never the same.
right.
I shout out a couple more people in the chat because I want to get to our final questions. Say it with me.
Yes.
We got Movie Hunter 2020 checking in. We got Mizzy in the house. Never let a non-professional cut your hair.
Yeah, I was one of those. I non-professionally cut my hair when I was little.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Say
I was
less.
buzzed cut. Yeah, completely. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Learned that the hard way.
got Basement Blues checking in.
Hey,
What's up,
Tony.
Tony? Someone else was here, but um, ooh, Dell. Yes, by the plaza all the time, weekly. Lived in that place. Record store, electronics. Think Best Buy now was the Wiz in Brooklyn back
Oh,
in the day.
nice, nice.
Um, one more question before we get to the five takes.
Sure.
So, what's the best steal you ever got at Vintage Stock? That's how we kind of came together, our love of going to Vintage Stock.
Man.
I got more than you do in my area. What's the best thing you ever got there?
Oh, that I found there. Wow. Man, I've gotten some good stuff. I started. I latched onto these Lionsgate steel books.
Yeah,
So I just love the slip covers and the artwork underneath. They do great work
so
with
good.
that. So it might be one of I found Knives Out in there. I that had been out for so
The
long. Yeah.
yeah. That
I
stuff.
I can't believe I found that in there. Just randomly in there one day, and I was just like, do. Shut up.
Nice.
Oh my god. Now if I had found the American
Mr.
Psycho steelbook,
Nichols.
do it. Oh, Mr.
Mr.
Nichols.
Nichols.
But yeah, that was a great find in there. I actually my Friday the 13th collection back here, I found that at a vintage stock used. So I
Wow.
know, I mean, I know it's like 79.99 now, but at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
that was a great steal
Wow.
for me. And I already had the replacement disc in it, so I didn't have to do anything for that. So
Hmm.
yeah.
All right. Ready for the five takes?
Maybe.
You ready?
Let me get some water here.
Get some water. I'll do the same.
Mm.
All right. Number one. Name the film that made you fall in love with the movies.
Okay, I was actually thinking about this one a lot, and I was actually talking to my hairdresser about this question in particular. Now, I was like, do I want to go with the movie that I saw in the theater for the first time, or do I want to go with the one that made me want to collect and that I watched for the first time at home that I was like, wow. So I think I'm gonna go with the one that kind of made the collector and also the movie lover. So
Mm-hmm.
it was Star Wars, yeah, the original Star Wars. I know it's cliche, but it was the first time back in the 80s we rented a VHS player from our local video store, and then we
Nice.
rented VHS of Star Wars. And I just thought that was so cool. I mean, dad and grandpa were hooking it up to the TV, and we were like, "Oh my gosh, we're gonna watch this at home." You know, it was just so cool. And you put it in, and then that opening, just of it all. And I just, man, I just fell in love with that movie. It's still one of my favorites to this day. I just
You and
love
I
it.
both.
Yeah,
You and I both.
oh man, I love it so much that I had to hunt down the originals for the theatrical cuts so I could
Mm-hmm.
have those. I hunted those down. I have those on DVD. I will never get rid of those. And if
Yeah.
I want to watch Star Wars, those are the ones I watch. I hunt those out. Yeah, right over here.
Dope. Nice. I'm
But
gonna keep you
yeah,
on the big screen.
yeah,
Number
oh
two.
yeah, oh yeah. And it's crazy. Somebody was talking about this the other night. I can't remember. I think it might have. Oh man, I can't remember. So many live streams. So it might have been. Was it? Was it Horror More? I think it might have been where she was talking about how she still has her DVDs, and when she puts them on
Mm-hmm.
the TV, yeah, that
Yeah.
they upscale them, that they look fairly decent. They don't have that, grainy that old school, you would watch on your boob tube TV has. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's nice, but yeah, I mean, but I still want that nicer picture, of course.
Me too. Number two. Name five of your favorite films.
Okay, I grabbed them. I grabbed them.
Go, go, go.
So I couldn't change my mind because this one was a tough one because I just love movies in general, and so many of them, hit me in so many different ways. I'm gonna go with one that this is the only movie that my mom and I have ever seen together in a theater, and it holds a very special place in my heart. But and not a lot of people talk about it, but it's Indian Summer here. I don't know
Oh,
if people have seen Indian Summer, um, but it is a story of 30 somethings that all attended summer camp when they were in their tweens and teens. Um, and the gentleman who owns the summer camp invited them back for one last hurrah. And all the stuff that went on when they were when they were teens. Some of them um, dated each other but are married to others now that they're adults. So some stuff like that's coming back in to play. Plus, the fact that they're older and yeah, just things aren't the same. And it's yeah. So Indian Summer, I love this movie so much. It's got a great cast. I see if I can read this off to us, or if I can remember. Okay, so Bill Paxton, Diane Lane, Vincent Spano, Kimberly Williams. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Elizabeth Perkins.
hmm.
Oh my gosh. Here, I'm Kevin Pollak. All right, Julie Warner. Let's see. There is oh my gosh, Raimi. One of the Raimis. Raimi. Sam. Ted. Sam. Yeah. Dang, wow, I just had a hard time. And Alan Arkin. Alan Arkin plays the patriarch in this whole thing, the one who
Yep.
owns the camp. So that movie is one of my favorites. I love it so much. So yeah, that's one of my faves there.
What's your second one?
Next, Monster Squad. I love this movie.
Hey.
Yeah, take me back to my childhood. I love this so much. Um, I never really watched a whole lot of the Dracula and the Wolfman, like the Bela Lugosi's and stuff like that back in the day. But this kind of got me wanting to check those out because this was the kid version of those. So love this movie so much. Yeah. All right. Next, I love comedies.
Me
This is
too.
one of my favorites. Not a lot of
Oh,
people talk about this one. Talk about
that,
another stat cast.
yeah.
All right.
The song the little boy is singing in the beginning stayed in my head for so many years
Oh
until
yeah.
I had kids, and then I was like, please, if one of them does that to
No,
me,
no,
I'll
yeah.
die.
When you're sliding in the first, and yes,
Yeah.
and you're feeling something burst, diarrhea.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, this one's so good. Such a great cast. I love that one so much. All right, now we're gonna get a little darker, but we'll go comedy darker. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Hmm.
This one, I don't know. Elvira, she had that that late night, you know, gore. Yeah, that's not gore, but not gory, but the gore fest movies of like the 70s and 60s. The B movies.
Hmm.
But the I don't know, for some reason I love this movie. It's so campy. It's so over the top. She's oh my god, her double entendres and like just how sassy she is. Like, oh man, I love Elvira. She's yeah. So this one's another one of my favorites. This is crazy, goofy, awesome 80s fun. So
Yep.
yeah, that's I love that one so much. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, long
Oh,
time ago when it first came out.
so yeah. All right, and then lastly, I should have not been watching this, but Basic Instinct. When I watched this when it first came
Yeah,
out, I love this movie.
with the
Suspense
UK
thriller.
4K.
Yes, I had to import this. They were like, we don't have it in the U.S. I'm like, well, I don't have it at all, and I'm gonna go all in on this one because it's one of my favorites. So I did. I waited a month and a half to get this in, but I got it, and it
Yeah,
came with a slipcover too. I was more excited about that almost than the movie.
that's a big thing, especially coming from the UK.
Yeah,
I
and
was happy mine came with a slip too.
yeah, from and especially for how long it had been out that I got it. So yeah,
Hmm.
so Basic Instinct, I love this one. Psychological thriller or like thriller crime. I love this movie. It's like I said, I shouldn't have been watching. I probably shouldn't have been watching it when I was, with all the with all the sex and all the good in it.
Yeah.
But I
I
love that. I love that because you think it's her, and
so
then you
good.
don't think it's her, and then you
So
think it's
good.
somebody else. It's just yeah, so good.
Before I get into number three, I know that some of you are going to hop over to Sue's Q&A. I think Cody wraps it up best right here in a nice, funny way. But we're probably just going to keep going for a little while, and then Susan, I'll hop in where I could fit in after we're done here for sure. Thanks for hanging out with us. We also have
Yeah.
a couple of questions in the chat. I want to make sure, out of respect to those who asked, that we get to
Oh
afterwards.
yes, definitely, absolutely.
Number three, everybody's favorite question: name a classic movie that everybody loves, you can't stand.
Man, I can't stand. I probably have to go revisit it because as I got older, my tastes have changed in movies.
Hmm.
I don't find some of the slower burns as boring as I did when I was younger. So I definitely want to have to give this a rewatch. I know they're going to come for me. I was not a fan of The Godfather.
Okay.
Yeah, but I watched it. I watched it when I was in my teens. My early teens. It
That's
was
hard.
on.
That's
So
hard. How do you
yeah,
appreciate an epic in your teens unless your parents made you like Ben-Hur or,
right. Yeah.
something
So
like
that
that?
one missed the mark for me because I mean, I wasn't, obviously I wasn't the demographic they were going for at that time,
Hmm.
but I am now. And so I'm ready. I have all the steel books. I'm ready to give it another shot. I'm ready to. No, I know that's what I said. I know they're gonna come for me. But I mean, like I said, I watched it when I was a teen. I'm older now. I'm more mature. My mind is a little different. So I'm ready to
Hmm.
dive in there because I still haven't seen two or three. Yeah, yeah. So
Um,
I'm ready to
I
take
would
on the trilogy.
I would say next time we have like a winter storm, or you just have a Saturday or Sunday to waste, rewatch one and go directly into two. Two, to me, um, we like to call Zoe Kravitz Godfather Part Two because she's better than the original. So yes, Godfather Part Two is my favorite between one and two. And
See,
then some other time watch three by itself and don't think of it in terms of one and two. That's how
okay.
I do it.
So I treat it like a standalone
Yeah,
almost with
yeah, because on
with
its own it's a
aspects of
good
it.
movie. Yeah, on its own it's a good movie, but when you're doing a comparison after one and two, no comparison.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. Yeah. I like I said, I'm I was too early for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's why I didn't hit for me. But like I said, I'm older now. I'm ready to check it out.
Hmm.
And all those actors that are in it, I love. Diane
Yeah.
Keaton. You know, uh,
Jimmy Kahn.
James Caan, rest in peace. Absolutely, Marlon Brando,
Yeah.
Talia Shire. Speaking of
Hmm.
again.
Yep.
So yeah, yeah. I'm ready. I'm
That
ready to
was
give it a
Coppola's
Robert
cousin.
Duvall. Robert Duvall. Love Robert Duvall. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, Tony P in the house says he's never seen Godfather. Guess he's a bad Italian. Yes.
Hey.
Yes, you are.
Hey.
Ben says you definitely enjoy it more as an adult.
Yeah,
Very true. Very
I'm
true.
sure. Yeah,
And then Haley in the house. Yes, Fish. His real name is Andy. Like you didn't know.
yeah.
Oh man. Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. So we flipped that question to ask question number four, which is name a critically hated movie that you love.
Um, yeah, I was kind of jumped on a Rotten Tomatoes before this to
Hmm.
see like what was down there on the lower ranks.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I was going to do that, but then one of them just popped in my head. I was like, I'm sure this is not critically loved. Audiences may like it, but I'm sure the critics and stuff did not. And I got on there. I got a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, but oh man, I didn't even grab it. Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I love that
Yeah.
movie. I love that movie. I watched it in the theater when it first came out. It's one that I saw by
Yeah.
myself. Um, it's still my favorite take on the Robin Hood story. I don't know. There's something about that. Alan Rickman, Morgan Freeman. Can't say can't say much more, but and yes, it's not the best. Kevin
Hmm.
Costner is not the greatest, because you don't get the accent, but hey, I
Right.
still enjoy it. Christian Slater's in there, and I've always been a huge Christian Slater fan.
It's a good
Um,
movie.
but it's a fantastic movie. And another reason I love that is I was always big into classical music, and that score
Score
is
is amazing.
so good, so good. I actually bought that cassette, and I would
Hmm.
put that on when I did my homework. I'd
Oh
put it
wow.
on, and I'd sit there and do homework, and just dun dun dun. Dun. Yeah, it's so wow, wow, wow. Oh, it's so good, so
Yeah.
good. And I
You
think
you
it's
just brought up memory saying that. I used to Batman '89, that Danny Elfman score. That
that's a
that was
fantastic score
homework
too.
music.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Like I said, I just put it on and and I put it on when I was like just randomly reading. I'd grab a book and just put that on and just read. So
Hmm.
good. That's another reason I love that movie. And then, yeah, I'm sure critics didn't
That's a
like
good
it,
one.
obviously, but yeah, that's one of my
That's a
favorites.
good one. I do want to go back to the chat. Thank you for those of you still hanging out with us. You have other places you could be, but thanks for staying with us.
Yes, thank you, thank you. I'm sorry, Sue.
And now she said it's all good.
I'll be in your chat soon. I'm sorry.
We both will. So Tony at Basement Blue says, "Have you ever walked out of a movie, and which one did you walk out of?" Sounds like it's story time.
Okay, so we're going back to Bob's question with this one too. So I'm going to answer both of these questions at once. Yes, I have walked out of a movie, and because we talked about this last night in the round table. I walked out of Wakanda Forever. I
Yes,
did.
explain the hate.
Okay. I don't know if it's. Wow. Okay. So starting out. Okay, it's been out long enough. I'm sorry, guys. I might run into some spoilers here for you if mute me, but I'm going to talk about this for a second. Okay. So at the beginning, you've seen it, yes, KB?
Yes,
Okay.
twice.
Okay. So at the beginning, we get the whole aspect of T'Challa is not doing well.
Hmm.
He's uh, and I believe Shuri is trying to recreate the heart-shaped herb to help him. And okay, so this is where I had an issue. I'm like, okay, so he's already has the heart-shaped herb from when he had it in Black Panther. So are you thinking that a double dose is going to like help him again? That's an issue I had with that. So you're trying to recreate something that he already has in his body and his system, the exact same thing, and you think that's going to I know she was trying to grasping at straws and stuff, but
Yeah, yeah.
I had issues with that. I know when it's family you'll do anything to help them and stuff. I don't know, that just didn't click with me because I don't know. um um oh man, the way they treated Okoye, um I don't know,
Yeah.
I that kind of rubbed me
Did
the
her
wrong way
dirty.
there. So I had a little issue with that because
Okay, I want to ask a quicker question. At what point did you walk out?
uh after they gave her the herb and she woke up and she punched that mannequin and went flying
So
across
you
the room,
stuck
I
in
was
it for a
done.
while.
I did. I stuck
Oh
with it for a
wow.
while.
Okay.
Um, I I I I love Namor as a comic book character, so that's what kind
Hmm.
of kept me in there a little bit longer because I wanted to see
Hmm.
where they were going with his character. But once that happened, I was like, I grabbed my glass of wine and I stood up and I walked right out. And I sat at the bar and I was
Drop
like,
the
oh my gosh,
veto.
I had a feeling they were going to go that way with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I was okay with it until I saw it play out on
Yeah.
screen. And then I really had issues with it. Um, and then, and then I went back. I did finally watch it. I watched the rest of it. And that's when I walked
Hmm.
out, but I did go back and finally watch the rest of it. And it still bugged me.
Yeah.
Even towards the end, even at the end, when she's like kicking ass,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, where in the first movie did we ever get any inclination that Shuri was an ass kicker? I'm like, I mean, hand to hand wise. I mean,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
had her little pew, 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 but Nowhere in there. I mean, I'm sure she could. I'm sure she was trained, but nowhere did we get
Oh
an
my
inkling that
God.
she was trained to be. Rah. They just gave her
I'll
the
say
herb, and yeah, sorry. There's so many
this
things
is
that I.
this is me being an apologist. This is a what I like to call a remixed movie because you have to imagine this was not the plot line that they had in mind
Oh, trust me, I
before
know.
Chadwick Boseman
I, I,
passed.
I definitely understand that. I totally get that. I do.
The
But
ending was supposed to be the beginning. It's crazy. It's
so
crazy.
it's just things that just rub me the wrong way throughout that movie, and I just yeah.
Wow.
But
Okay.
that's it. That's what
Okay.
it was. I mean, I could
Yeah.
have. I guess I could have done that one right there for my number four. I guess, right?
Yeah, that too. True. Totally true.
Oh man,
Uh,
but yeah, I mean, I know people love it. I
yeah.
just I just
We still have
didn't
people
wasn't
popping up.
wasn't for me. Yeah,
We
and
got Murdoch
I really
popping up.
enjoyed the first one. I really did. Yeah, and I love Chadwick's character. Civil War is my favorite MCU movie, so it introduced him in that. So yeah,
Yep.
so but
We
ah
got Murdoch joining us. We
hello,
got Spicy 4K action. Hello, hello.
hello.
Um, Fish wanted to throw up when Tony started pulling out all those Wakanda Forever exclusives.
Oh no, I mean no, absolutely. They're gorgeous. They are. No, they're
They
fantastic.
are.
I
They
love
are.
the
I
artwork
couldn't
on those.
decide, so I didn't get any of them.
If me, okay, so being the fish that I am, I probably would have went Namor for
Yeah,
the
the
underwater aspect of it
Namor
all.
ones.
But
Huck says it was underwhelming, but it was moments. Don't think he needs to watch it again. Ken didn't love it, but they were kind of between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, kind of what we were just saying.
yeah,
If I sat through 3.5 days of Avatar, The Way of Water, you could have made it through Shuri forever.
I what did I have left? What did I have left? Like 45 minutes. I guess I could have
You
stuck
were
out those
almost
45. I
there.
was almost
You were
there when I went
almost
back
there.
and like watched it. Like because I worked the balconies that next day, and it's easy for me to watch a movie in the balcony. I can
Yeah.
stand there and like see if I have lights on the TV screen behind me.
Hmm.
Because that's what they do. They push a button on their table, and I'll come out if they need
Oh
anything
yeah,
throughout the
yeah.
feature. So we don't just
Hmm.
run in and out and bother people. We just let you be if you want.
Yeah.
So I stood there in the balcony and I watched the rest of it. So I did watch the rest of it, and I was like, wow, I almost made it through that whole movie. It's just that one
Hmm.
part that just killed it for me. I was like, I'm done. I can't do
The
this
second
anymore.
time I fell asleep when what's her name started going underwater in the little boat thing. So
Oh, of course. No. 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 Oh my gosh. Lupita.
yeah,
Oh my
let's
god.
just say Lupita.
Yeah, because I can't
I'm
think of her name right now.
I'm
Oh,
with Caprice though. The first one was so iconic that yeah, I couldn't really get with the second one. A couple more questions, then we'll wrap it up. Ryan wants to know what kind of project would you like to see your favorite director tackle? First of all, who's your favorite director?
oh, favorite director. Oh wow. Got a couple. I really enjoy Scorsese and Tarantino
Mm,
movies.
me too.
Tarantino definitely. Uh, because I've been watching Pulp Fiction since high school. I watched it every weekend. Pulp
Hmm.
Fiction, Dazed and Confused, Friday, and Up in Smoke were four movies that I watched every weekend. And without fail, me and my sister and my cousin, we would hang out at our grandma's house, and those were the four movies that we watched religiously every weekend. Um,
I think I need to come to your vintage stock if you were watching Up in Smoke. Oklahoma's wreck. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm being silly.
but so wow. Uh, Now he actually Tarantino wrote one. He wrote a
Hmm.
love story, but he's not ever directed a love story. True Romance was his love story. That's that he wrote that. And it's one of my favorite all time favorite movies. I love that movie so much. So I mean, since he's written one, I don't know if he'd ever write another one, but I'd love to see
Right.
him do like a love story,
That would be
Tarantino
fun.
style. So, but technically he already has. Scorsese, he actually got one coming out, and I really like this. Not a lot of people. They are a lot more now tackling Native American like history and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for Flower Moon that's coming out soon. It's
Yeah,
an Apple
me
Plus
too.
TV show or a movie, but
I thought it was Netflix.
I
Is it
think it's
Apple
Apple.
Plus?
I think it's Apple Plus.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I got it both.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I love the fact that he is tackling some American Native history there with that. So
Yeah.
so I'm really that's something that I was really excited about when I heard about it because they did a casting call here in
Oh,
Oklahoma,
really?
and I actually went out for it. But when I went out for it, my hair was down to here. So yeah. So I was right for it, but I wasn't right for it.
Mm.
But yeah, actually my niece got in and had
Oh,
scenes
wow.
with and she had scenes with Leonardo DiCaprio. And I hope she doesn't end up on the cutting room floor, sweet thing.
Oh,
But
wow.
I talked to my brother the other day, and it's funny because she calls. It's funny I didn't know this, but she calls him. She calls Leo old man. Um,
Depending on her age, it might be.
she is 4, so yeah, she calls him old man, and it's weird because I don't know if he was in full makeup and everything when well
Hmm.
obviously when they were doing scenes, but she didn't like him. She's like, I don't like that old man. So
Wow.
yeah, so I guess he creeped her out or freaked her out. But like even movies, like they'll be on the screen. She's like, it's that old man.
Vin is saying what I'm thinking. I want to see a picture of the long hair.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll post something.
Throw it
I'll post
on
something on
IG
Instagram.
or something.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
post something. I've got him. Yeah, I got him. Oh yeah.
So
It's
Cody
funny
has.
because
Oh, go ahead.
I went to my childhood home yesterday, and I
Hmm.
was looking around, and I saw my senior photo. Um, hair was about here. I saw my graduation photo. Hair was down to there. I found my
Wow.
cap and gown. I just yeah. That's when I was uh in high school. I had my hair. It's the '90s grunge, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And then I cut it all off, and then a few years ago, I started growing it out. My cousin of mine grosses out every so often and cuts it off and donates it to
Nice.
Wigs for Kids. So
Hmm.
that inspired me to do that, and I grew it out for 4 years, and I finally chopped it all off. And yeah, so yeah. But yes, I will definitely put a picture up on Instagram. Yeah.
Cody has the last chat question before we end this thing. He says, "Did you have a Toy Story Andy childhood or a Child's Play Andy kind of childhood?"
Uh, well, I mean, wouldn't aren't these kind of similar because toys come into
Still
life,
talking toys.
you know? But did I have a happy one or did I have a? Oh yeah.
Evil one.
Actually, I lean more towards the Child's Play. I love Child's Play. It's funny. Is Bob? His nickname for me is Andy Barkley. So,
Oh, jeez.
um, Andy Barkley Fish is what he calls me.
Nice.
But yeah, I enjoy the Toy Story movies, but as I got older, I mean, came out when I was older, so I
Hmm.
didn't latch onto them like I did. But I definitely love the Child's Play movies. Child's Play 1, 2, and 3. I think 2 is my favorite out
A
of
lot of
them.
people say that. Yeah.
What's crazy is that I latched on to because Christina Elise, who plays the older sister, his foster sister, she was on Beverly Hills 90210, and I'm a huge 90210 fan. So when I saw her, I was like, "Oh, she's in a movie and it's Child's Play too." Yes. So yeah.
Oh man. So as we land this plane, I just want to, and I think I speak for Fish as well, thank for everyone who's in the chat, who's hung out, who left, and we had fun tonight.
Thank you very much.
So
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, my fifth question is, who would you like to see me have a conversation with on this channel?
Somebody who I just recently met or was introduced to, and he has a smaller channel, and I
Hmm.
think he's got some good stuff out there. Adam, the movie hunter. He's been
Adam the
making
movie hunter.
he's been making himself a little more known in chats and live chats and stuff. And he's a friend of Bob's that I was introduced to, and I found his channel and I've watched a few videos. So I did his steelbook collection. He's got movie reviews, hauls, and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it'd be
Nice.
interesting to let the community meet him and get to know him as well. So
Yeah, I'm definitely going to start to do that more, just to give people not only give their channels exposure, but just to get some different voices because, um, yeah,
absolutely,
definitely.
no, absolutely, definitely. Um, so Bob and I talked
Thank
about
you,
this.
Bob.
Yeah. Yes.
He says, "Hell, you're Adam. Let's go."
Yeah, Bob and I have been talking about this over the past couple weeks about being more, inclusive.
Hmm.
It always helps, especially when you're new and you're wanting to get into uh, this or be a part of this. Even if
Yeah.
you're just in the chats on live streams, you say hello everyone, and then everybody ignores you, and then you're
Hmm.
like, well, I'm not going to say anything anymore. I'm not going
Yeah.
to pipe in. I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to say anything, and it turns people off. So Bob and I have started
That's
to
true.
pretty much make it a point to when anybody hops in, new, old, whatever, say hey, just say
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I,
even
I
just even just a hello. So that's how
yeah.
Sean. Like I saw him in chat one night. He's like, "Hello, everyone." I was like, "Hey, Sean." And he was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
Fish," and then just he's been popping in,
Just go from
watching. Yeah.
there.
So that's how we grow this community. That's how we keep people involved. That's how we you
Yeah.
know, um, not so cliquish, people like to
Yeah,
say.
I don't
So
I
I don't.
never got down with that. I've always been the chameleon ever since high school. So
Oh
when
yeah.
I started seeing like I spent like almost 18 months watching everyone and then all of a sudden I get in and people like Basement Blues and Ken and Susan and Dead Pit and Rad Pack and all those guys started showing me love. I'm like, that's the way it should be because I love that. And if I see somebody first time in here, I'm like, hey, I don't think you've been here before. Welcome. If nobody else says it in the chat, I'm gonna say it out loud because nobody wants to be that new person that's ignored. So,
Right. No, absolutely. And that's goes all the way back since chat started, like back
yep,
AOL dial-up
AOL.
days. Yeah,
The
back ever
AOL
since back
days.
then, you jump in a chat and hey everyone, and they're like all ignore you, and you're like, well, screw you guys, and
There's
you
other
don't feel
chat
wanted,
rooms
you
to
don't
go
feel
to.
welcome. So
And you're going to see that reflected here, in the coming weeks and months. You're going to see more people who are newer than, the big boys. I'll save the big boys for like maybe when I hit a year or my birthday or whatever the case may be. Um, and I don't know who was recently talking about Black Klansman. Maybe with Bob and um, Dell last night, but
oh,
I really want to get a big person on here because people who make films, Cody can attest to this. Filmmakers are film lovers first and foremost. So
oh, definitely,
yeah,
absolutely. Oh man, it's crazy. I forgot. They're actually having a Native American Heritage Festival.
you said it, Ken.
Yeah, no reason to go live if you're not interacting. Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, and Merha, I know you from Tuesday Mornings with Huck, so I welcome you. Please, if you like what you're seeing, come back, hang out, like all that good stuff because you're welcome here.
Oh, definitely, absolutely. Um,
Yep.
but and that's another thing. They may bring something to the table. Other
Always.
other other film
Everybody brings
interests.
unique perspectives.
Absolutely.
Everybody.
it may spark something. I'm like, oh my gosh, I may want to check that out.
Yep.
So, oh, Black Klansman, yes, absolutely, it's a great one. I really enjoyed that one too. I love Adam Driver. So
Let's see. There's 21 people. You make 22. I know Kevin Wilmot, who co-wrote it with Spike Lee. He's a personal friend of mine. I've had an interview with him on my podcast. I want to get him on here just because we haven't caught up and vibed in a while. And he, big movie lovers, as you can imagine. He's written, or what we like to call ghostwriting in the industry. He's ghostwritten a lot of screenplays and stuff. So I definitely want to get him on here.
Oh
So
yeah,
you guys can meet him. He can meet everyone in the chat, answer your questions, and then go from there.
that'd be fantastic. That's awesome.
Yeah. See, good example. My dude Eddie here says, appreciate you. You were one of the first to have me on a stream. Fish always saying hi in the chat. Much love to you, man.
Yeah,
Much love to
absolutely.
you.
Yes.
Especially if you're cool people, man. If you cool people, you down, and that's how it is.
Oh yeah.
Uh, always support everyone, even the trolls, because we can't assume someone is a troll. Respect everyone. Facts. Facts.
So until they show their little trolley fingers and ears and
Yeah.
stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Till they show their true colors, yeah.
Mm. Till I see you under a bridge, I'm assuming you're a good person. Andy.
Yes, sir.
Not that everybody knows your name. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. Um, I had fun. I knew we'd have fun. That was a given. What is Mara saying here? Huck stream in the morning is so easier for me. Sometimes I stay up late and could 3 o'clock. God bless you.
Oh
God
wow,
bless you
wow.
for
Oh
staying
yeah.
with us. Get
Thank you for
some
hanging
rest.
out and staying. Oh, awesome.
I've been up at 3 o'clock some mornings. Much appreciated. But go get some rest.
Yes,
Go get
yes.
some
Thank you
rest,
for
please.
staying. Oh
Thank you
wow.
for joining us. And thank you for having this conversation with me. I
No,
was really
KB.
looking
Oh
forward to
yes.
it. I don't even want it to end right now, but you know
I
how it is.
yeah, I feel bad. It's like running into Sue's stream because I love Sue's streams. We
Me
always talk.
too.
He always talks about fun stuff, and
Hmm.
yeah, I always have a good time in there. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna go
thank
and
you.
hop right in there. So
Yes. So I want to say thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate, the love and support that everybody in this community has shown me. I'm new to this whole thing. I just started my Instagram this past year. We just started YouTube this past year. I've only
hmm
been doing this for like 8 months. So this community family has been very supportive.
Yep.
It's like being on Bob's stream and then Ken inviting me to roundtable, and I just thought that was the coolest thing when I got on my first roundtable, and I did another one last night, which was awesome.
hmm
I was like, oh my gosh, he asked me back, so okay, cool. I just I just love being a part of this, be able to talk
Yeah,
about movies and our passion and our love for it. So
me too.
thank you for
Um,
yeah.
I'll say this out loud. Hit me up on IG when you wanna come up and do that hunt with me. We'll
Yeah,
make it happen.
yes.
But until next time, like I always say to everyone, thanks for joining us. Go watch a movie.